All right, it's TNT NBA tip-off presented by Auto Trader. Golden State at San Antonio, called by Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, and Kristen Ledlow. Then it's off to Portland. Got the Lakers and the Blazers with Kevin Harlan, Reggie Miller, and David Aldridge. Here in Atlanta studio, Jay, that's Charles Barkley down there. That's Kenny the Jet Smith. That's Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. University of Georgia, home of the #1 college football team in the land.
Wow.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Yeah, they're #1 in the country.
I'm not saying that they're not #1, but do you, every time there's a poll out that you're supposed to scream the team #1?
Come on.
If I did that in basketball, I'd say it every week. I'd be, oh, the #1 North Carolina Tar Heels.
This is pretty special for the University of Georgia.
First of all, it's the first official poll.
It is.
They're ranked #1.
I'll give it to
I
you.
cannot wait
either,
next
for 2
weekend.
weeks. Yeah.
Next weekend, I'll see you down on the Loveless Village.
Yeah, the weekend after next.
Yes.
Georgia beats Auburn. Oh, my, that's going to be so much fun. Anyway, here we go. Golden State, San Antonio.
You need tickets?
Last time we watched Golden State and San Antonio, Western Conference Finals last year, Game 1, and that's when this happened to Kawhi Leonard, with San Antonio up 23. And then Golden State comes back and wins that game with Leonard out. They sweep the series and move on to the NBA Finals, where they...
Well, that's really what happened there.
Cavaliers.
That's what happened.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one with the Zaza Pachulia.
No, they showed a different one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so, we still haven't seen Kawhi Leonard as he tries to come back from a quad injury now, unrelated to the ankle injury from last year.
They're all related, Ernie.
In the Auto Trader player comparison. Say what, Kenny?
They're all related. You know, the ankle bone connected to, that old song. But it's all, when you hurt one thing, you kind of compensate other things most of the time, and you usually hurt something else.
I actually agree with Kenny.
There it is.
The human body is so amazing. It's kind of like anytime you sprain your left ankle, you don't even know you're compensating because your body does it. At some point, your right hip or your right knee, it's amazing how the body works.
Is this true, Dr. O'Neal?
Yes, he's just a tough kid. He probably had a lot of knick-knack injuries and decided to play through all those injuries. And I agree with those guys. It happens to all of us.
San Antonio got out of the gate well. They have lost 3 in a row. They are 4-3. LaMarcus Aldridge has played well, but he's the only guy really putting up big numbers for this team so far in the early going. He's averaging 24 and 8, 13th in the league in scoring, shooting 50%. But it's been a little bit of a struggle lately with 3 straight road losses for San Antonio.
Well, and they're going to lose tonight. You can't even judge this team until Kawhi comes back. And LaMarcus, the thing he's got to do is he's got to be so aggressive when Kawhi comes back. He's a terrific player, but he's one of those guys. He makes me nervous. I don't like people who don't get mad, Ernie. I don't trust people. Like vegetarians, that's not a thing. Everybody likes meat. But I don't like people. It's not a thing, Ernie. Just because they say it doesn't make it true. So LaMarcus, to me, has to be aggressive when Kawhi comes back. And he is such a passive person, he kind of takes a back seat.
He wasn't. No, go ahead.
And that's his biggest problem. There's enough balls to go around for, like, you can be 1 and 1A, and y'all both get 25 points a night. But he's one of those guys, when he plays, he was aggressive in Portland because he was the man. But when he's in San Antonio, he is so passive.
I was just going to say that. I disagree with you on the passive part. In Portland, he was aggressive.
That's because he was the man.
That's right. He came to San Antonio. He did understand how to be the second and third option, but he had a conversation with Pop this summer, and Pop said, look, I need you to be that old LaMarcus. So it's good that he's being aggressive, but yes, I agree with Chuck. When Kawhi come back, he has to continue to put up 24-8, even more.
Meantime, the Champs have won 4 of their last 5, coming off a 28-point win over the Clippers in L.A. Steve Kerr said that looked like us after that game.
Well, I don't know, it's not a hangover. It's, I call it the fat cat-itis. I've been saying that for years. Is when you win a championship, everybody gets a little fat. It's not, this is, game number 8. It's on TNT. Charles, Ernie, Chuck, and Kenny. And they're not excited.
Charles, Ernie, Chuck, and Kenny?
Yeah.
Charles, Ernie, Chuck, and Kenny?
Yeah. I'm like the secretary. I'm saying the same name twice. But, no, they're not excited about this game on national television and being one of the only games playing right now. Because the last 3 years they've been in the NBA Final. Now they have to go back to their rituals and their habits of being a good basketball player and a basketball team, where the Spurs can possibly pull on emotion at the same time, and that also gets you through some games. So they don't have the luxury to get through emotion in the early part of the season until around game 20, when everybody says, you know what, we're a little tired. We are who we are, too. We are who we are.
They're just
mentally.
bored. They're just
mentally.
bored.
You don't think
you're
they're
right.
really
You're right,
tired?
Chuck. They're
They're
bored.
just bored.
Bored
That's
or
mental tiredness.
complacent.
They
know they can beat everybody.
They're like, we got like when they. I tell you what's going to be interesting. When they play, they're like, oh, the Clippers are playing well. Let's just send them a little message. I think they'll send the Spurs a little message. But against the rest of the team in the NBA, they'll be like, these guys can't beat us. And then every now and then they're going to get nipped at the end. But they're so confident in their abilities. And the Spurs and the Cavaliers are a little different. The Cavaliers just a bunch of old geezers.
Oh, now they're old geezers.
They are geezers.
Come on, man. You think LeBron James is shaking in his boots right now about the 3 and 5 start?
But he's not shaking because there's nobody in the Eastern Conference put interfere in their heart.
That's my point.
But they got
So
a
he's
bunch
like-
of old geezers.
And
who,
they're
that's
saying
their
the same
problem.
thing.
They're bored too.
They're bored
They're
too.
bored.
Yep, they're bored. But they got some geezers on that team.
Wake up.
They need to call. Some of those guys need to call Ice Cube
Vegetarians
for the big
89.
three.
You don't think they're actually vegetarians?
There's no such thing as a vegetarian. Nobody doesn't like meat, Ernie.
Prime form tonight. Coach.
It's not a thing. Nobody doesn't like meat. Stop it.
There are people.
There's no people don't like meat.